at a Zerg, especially Hydralisk. Hydralisk just melt to 4 Colossi. 4 Colossi will always make their money back against Zerg, especially with micro. We have no Cliffwalkers, and that's just tiring. Terran walls. Not so much as much of an issue because I can whip out 3 Zergling just as the last depot goes up. He doesn't usually have his first Marine built, or only one. It's quick. It's like if you've ever played Opening Gambit. I can get the Zergling out pretty quickly if I need to, which is pretty standard in my build because it allows me to go either harassment with Morling or transition to Roach or Muta. So Terran walls are okay. Protoss walls, with the Zealot or the Cannon, It's not a major factor at this point. Marine Marauder Medevac beat 6 of our 9 combat units. The 6 units, we have 9 combat units. I'm not including the Queen and the Overseer as combat units. They do not deal damage. Queens are for macro. You cannot go and attack a base with a Queen. I know there are replays where people have won, but those are against randoms. In competitive play, or not even competitive, but just Gold League, even Silver League and up, you can't do that. Overseers, you can't take 30 Overseers into a base and win. You won't even kill anything. So I'm not including them. So all we have is the Zergling, the Baneling, the Hydralisk, the Roach, the Mutalisk, the Infestor, Ultralisk, Broodlord, and Corruptor. Out of those 9, Marine Marauder Medevacs beat at least 6 of those. They beat Zergling, Roaches, Hydralisk, and this is without factoring in tech levels. Like, by the time I'd have Ultralisks, you have tanks and Thors, but whatever. They beat Marines, and Marauders beat... Oh, gosh. They beat Zergling, they beat Roaches, they beat Hydralisks, they beat Mutalisks. I mean, Stim Marines are ridiculous. They shoot faster than Zergling's melee. That's something I just read up on the Blizzard forums. It's the Hive upgrade for Zergling sucks. There's nothing to it. A 20% increase for Hive Tech, 200. I mean, save your money. But they beat all those. They beat Infestors, but that's because they're spellcasters. What else? Mutalisk, I may have said that. They beat everything 2 tech and below. The thing that finally eats them are your Tech 3 Ultralisks and your Tech 3.5, because Broodlords are the pain of the world to get. Requires starting with the layer, you have to get the Infestor Pit, which you should always have. Infestors do matter. They are not good as a Defiler, and I would take the Defiler over the Infestor any day. But after that, it takes like a minute to mutate into a hive, and assuming you can build the Spire at 100 seconds at the same time, so it takes 100 seconds to get there. Then you have to morph into a greater Spire, which takes another 100 seconds. So we're at over 3.5 minutes. Plus you have to build a Corruptor, which has a 30 to 40 second build time. And you have to then mutate them into Broodlords. So that's like 400 gas just to get up there, and another 200 just to make one Broodlord. And if that's not evidence that Zerg is so gas heavy, I mean, during games where I'm finally winning and just sitting there trying to attack and rebuild, I usually have 5,000 minerals and 200 gas. I mean, I've never broken 1,000 gas if I'm not trying to save for something in particular. Marauder Stim Pack. Holy crap. The first time I saw that thing, I thought the guy was hacking. He was shooting so fast. His Marauders were shooting so fast. I mean, they're just boom, 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 and all of a sudden, all my Zergling, my 30-something hard counter or soft counter now, Zergling just melted along with some Hydralisk. I was like, what the heck is this? He just ate my army with guys that aren't supposed to do that. It costs 20 life out of 125. I think that may be a 10 mineral upgrade. But it's getting long-winded. I need a drink, but whatever. And if you have a medevac, healed, problem solved. So now you're on this steroids marauder that shoots like freaking sleight of hand pro RPGs. Because I know all of you have played Modern Warfare 2. There's only been like 30 billion people that have played it. Oh gosh. So now we go to my Terran encounters. We are closing. Well, first off, new Zerg notes. Zerglings suck because auto-pathing and auto-surround sucks. If you've ever tried to surround a Thor, you can tell, like, say, 30 Zergling to surround it. And maybe 10, 15 get around it. And the other 15 act like chickens with their freaking heads cut off, just running around in circles around the thing instead of picking new targets. It's the dumbest thing. While the new AI for tanks is more powerful, where only one will shoot them, one Zergling if you send it in, instead of all of them. They also have a slightly faster reload, it seems like. First time I saw the tank, it was like, you seriously can shoot that fast? That's almost cheating. So, Zergling, Hydralisk, I think that's all the new stuff I've gotten. Response to some comments I've seen that I didn't feel like posting on the Blizzard forums. And if I could get usernames, that would be nice. But I'll start by saying, one guy says, you cannot measure Zerg resource for resource. What the heck is that? You have to measure them. You have to have a bigger army. You're supposed to overwhelm them. So you're saying that a balanced game requires one race to have more to make it an even fight. And usually it's a lot more, which requires a second expansion. Well, crap like that most of the time. So let me see if I can get his name here. Nope, didn't watch it. His quote, "You're matching an equal resource army. That has little to no validity. You clearly don't understand the point of Zerg." And an automatic reply, the next one down, says, "Right, playing on equal terms has no validity. You must have more bases. You're required to have a larger army." Even though we can't spam fast enough, because somehow Zerg lost their Zerginess, if that's a word. And stuff like that. There's a lot of good threads in the Zerg forum of Blizzard. I have not looked extensively at Terran, but most of them are like, Bronze League, help me, I suck. And then they tell them to MMM, and they're all of a sudden Diamond. Let's see. Let me read this real quick. Okay, this is a good post, and I will read the whole thing. If you do not want to, skip ahead about 30 seconds. I do not know your username, but whoever posted this, I thank you on the Blizzard forums. Except that Zerg doesn't take a huge economic lead unless a Terran plays passively, which in Diamond never happens unless you're really lucky. Terran only has to apply a bit of early pressure with their more cost-effective units, and he can slow the Zerg's economy more times, get a stronger economy going. Mules and the fact that Terran pretty much control the early game, combined with the fact that if Zerg has to make an early army, his economic advantage is non-existent. It makes it so that Terran actually beats Zerg economically if played properly. Early Reaper harass makes an early expo impossible, so Zerg is forced to one base. An early Marine tank push means Zerg has to pump out a ton of lings or roaches, and that means less drones. All the while, Terran can make an army and SCVs and still has mules for huge bursts of minerals. Mules are horribly overpowered. That's my interjection. They mine so fast, they can mine off fully saturated minerals. As in, if an SCV is already mining it, the mule can still mine. What? What? I mean, free economy? Good lord. Anyway, This misconception that the Zerg economy is so much grander than the Terran or Protoss has got to die. The fact of the matter is, in the early game, if any early pressure is applied to any of the races, which at Platinum League is none because the Terrans just know how to wall and act like idiots. In the early game, if any pressure is applied, it's Zerg that hurt the most economically because unlike the other two, in order to defend early, a Zerg has to completely stop drone production. Only idiots who turtle and let the Zerg expand would think the Zerg has the best economy. I completely agree, and whoever you are who posted that, thank you very much. It's most likely that you're not watching this video. And that sums up a lot of the issues. I will put a link to the Zerg forums because you don't need to look at the Terran. Well, you do, but you can see Zerg has a lot more intelligent discussion. So we've got 4 minutes before I have to go to part 3, so I don't want to do that. So Terran counters. Terran will say, well, no duh, we have the better economy. That's why you have to expand. Why should we always have to be one base ahead of you? Why? And if you do an early push, our fast expansion will be screwed, and we're dead. It doesn't work that way. We shouldn't have to take a second expansion. And if the Terrans wanted to, instead of turtling, they could build a command center inside their base, lift it up, or even before that, build bunkers outside, lift it up, and drop it, and take a fast expansion. And then what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to take a third expansion? Not happening. So, anyone who says fast expansions are for Zerg is an idiot. Only for Zerg. You can build lots of units at once. Larva, because the larva can become any unit. And this is for tech switching mainly. If you scout, a lot of people say if you scout stuff like tanks, you should immediately build 15 mutalisks. Because we, as decent Zergs, always have 1,500 gas lying around. That's just retarded. Get better, you haven't played enough. You should find the exploit or the break in the Terran race. There is none. There have been millions of games played. I mean, there's 100,000 people online, or almost 1 million people online at any given moment. The Terrans have a great early game defense, great versatility for units, and it can finish off late game very strong. There's no weakness to them right now, except idiocy. Build ultras to counter MMM, because ultras have area of effect damage. Yes, they do, and it is a good counter. But if that's all they have, they're retards. And Marauders also hard counter ultras. Pretty much with their stim pack plus 20, or total 20 to armor, which is ridiculous. You're supposed to not attack head-on. I already did that. So, this is basically concluding my rant. I would really like some Terran players to comment, and I want to discuss with you why none of this is working. I don't want trolls, though. Trolls are stupid, and I will most likely delete your comment. Trolling is bad. Discussion is good, okay? So this has been my rant. I will continue playing Starcraft 2. Wow, this sounds like Modern Warfare 2. Because I'm actually winning. Because Terran players still don't know how to play. It's when they do know how to play, I get screwed. No chance. Because I'm not some Hydra guy who knows how to macro Zerg perfectly and everything. So, I hope some of you have gotten something out of this rant video that I started 30 minutes ago. And I'll be out. If you liked this rant and can agree with a lot of it, feel free to hit the like button. Before hitting the dislike button, I would like to discuss with you. Before you just say, you're a noob, go get better, stop whining, okay? And if you want to see more, which I mainly post gameplay commentary, feel free to subscribe. I'll be out. I'm getting something to drink as I am rather tired from this. Goodbye. See you later. Peace. Quick credit that I forgot. Big thanks to Kieran M Films. I'll put your channel in the description for teaching me how to rant, because your rants are awesome, even though you swear a lot, and I don't do that. But thanks.